Welcome, beautiful mamas. I am your host, Shay Harrison. This podcast is a place for Springfield and local surrounding area mamas to share their stories about life, motherhood, and everything in between, completely judgment-free. I am so excited to be able to share these stories with you and give women an opportunity to be heard. So if you're ready to laugh, open your mind, and be part of a supportive sharing community, let's crack on. Alrighty, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks.
You excited?
I am.
Yeah, good. You ready to share your story?
I am. I'm ready.
Yeah, good. Alrighty, so I'll just get you to introduce yourself and your kids first so people can relate to you and know who they're talking to.
Okay, well, I'm Tiane. I am a mum of 3, but I also have 2 stepchildren, so I'm a mum of 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
So obviously your 3 children live with you full time?
Yes.
And then how often do you see your stepchildren?
So one of my children live with me,
Yep.
and the other one lives away.
Yeah, interstate or
interstate.
just... Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so you're coming on today to share your story. I've heard little bits of it.
Yeah.
So we will just crack on and...
Sounds good.
Share your story.
Okay. So my story as a mother, I guess, begins at 19.
Yeah.
I fell pregnant. It wasn't planned.
No.
But, I mean, the best things come out of surprises, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I gave birth at 19.
Yep.
And to a girl.
Yeah.
And then, so my child's father
Yes.
that I was with, we were both young.
Yeah. Were you the same age?
He's a couple of years older than me.
Okay, yeah.
So we were both young, still trying to live our best life as young people, but also trying to be parents.
Yeah.
I guess he had a few little issues that he had to deal with.
How long had you guys been together before you fell pregnant?
We were together, I think I was about 17.
Oh, so a couple of years?
So only a couple of years,
Yeah.
And then... Yeah, we got a house, moved into a house, fell pregnant.
Oh, wow.
It went really, really fast.
Yeah.
But that's okay. These things happen.
Yeah.
And then I had the baby, then I got a house for us, and then things weren't as where I think they should be.
Yeah.
I think as a mother, as a young person, and then you become a mother,
Yeah.
you kind of have no choice but to grow up.
Yeah.
And quick.
Yeah.
So I did that.
Yeah.
But he wasn't on the same page in that sense. So
Yeah.
I was working, trying to, keep a roof over our heads type of thing.
Yeah.
And my parents really, really stepped in and helped out with the parenting side. I mean, I was the only one that had a grandchild. So there's 6.
So you were the first child to have their own child.
Out of 6 children.
Oh, wow. Are you the eldest?
I'm the youngest girl. So I'm the 4th.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah. So out of all the kids, I was the only one that had a child.
Yeah.
And given my parents a grandchild.
Yeah.
My mother was also a young mum.
Yeah.
She had my sister at 19. So she
then.
knew how this kind of goes. So my mum and my dad stepped in.
So you said that obviously the baby wasn't planned.
No.
Being 19. But because your mum had been a young mum, did you feel that being a young mum was the norm? Does that make sense?
I did.
Like it was just an option to have a baby at 19?
It was, but I was very, very scared to
okay.
have a baby.
Yeah.
And I was contemplating to have an abortion.
Yeah.
Because I was so young.
Yeah.
And then I spoke to my parents.
Yeah.
And my mum said, it's up to you.
Yeah.
But, if you do choose, we're all here.
Choose to keep it?
Yeah, if you do choose to keep.
Do you think if you had gone down the other route, they would have still been as supportive?
Yeah, I think they would.
Yeah, okay, that's really good then.
But I think they were just more so, you don't want to abort kind of thing because you will always think about it when you're older.
I have heard, I've never been in a position to have to make that decision, but I've heard from lots of people who have either gone down that route or who have considered it, that it's something that they think about for
ever.
The rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my mum did say that to me.
Yeah, and that's never a judgment thing.
Oh,
I
no,
think it's
not
just-
at all. But
yeah.
that is real reality of it.
Yeah.
And my mum said, like, you will think about it for years and years and years. And just know that we're here kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, well, you know, I'm still young. I can have the baby. I know they're there.
Yeah.
So I did.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was having.
Oh,
which
wow.
was which was really cool.
Yeah.
And then...
Did you have a preference, though? Did you want a boy or did you want a girl?
I wanted a boy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I wanted a little boy.
Bow.
I know. But I ended up with a girl, which is all good. I actually didn't know... So when I gave birth, they actually said, oh, you know, your baby's here. And I was like, well, what is it? Like, I don't know what I'm having, you know. And they're like, oh, it's a girl. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm a mother to a girl.
Wow.
So, yeah, so that was fun. And then... So my parents actually raised my daughter for a good couple of years while I went back to work and just try to, you know, have the balance of being a young 20-year-old and working and being a parent.
You said at one point you were working 3 jobs?
Yeah, 3 jobs.
That's a lot of hours. Do you remember how many hours you were working?
Oh, listen, I wouldn't know. I know it's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah.
But I had to fund, you know, my lifestyle.
Yeah. You've got to make sacrifices must be made.
So
you said that you were living in a house with your ex.
Yeah.
When you went back to work full time and your parents were supporting with your child.
Yeah.
Was your parents? Did you move back in with your parents, or were they staying at your house, or how was that working?
I did like live with my father until I gave birth. And then I pretty much moved into my home. Okay. Pretty much straight away. Yeah. A couple of weeks after. Yeah. And yeah, so we were, my ex and I and our daughter were living together. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I want, you know, to sort out my work, to make sure I can have Tamalia a lot more often. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't have to drive around back and forth picking her up from here, there and everywhere. Yeah, yeah. I could just work out my life kind of thing. But he wasn't on the same page. As a child, I grew up in a DV home, so I saw violence. I saw the alcohol, you know, go...
Was that your father or your mother? Because DV can be both sides.
My father was a heavy drinker. Yeah. My mother also drank. Okay. But my father was a angry drunk. Yeah, okay. Yeah, where my mother was... let's dance and have fun. Yeah, okay. So growing up in that sort of environment, I kind of knew what I could pick up on it really easily. So as an adult, and my daughter's father also kind of had similar traits, and I know that a lot of people do tend to go to what they've been raised on. So as father, they tend to go to those people. So that's how I think I gravitated towards that.
Do you think that before you had your child and before you fell pregnant, could you pick up on those signs, or at the time was it just you were young, you were having fun, you were just in this relationship?
Yeah, no, her dad is a very hard worker. He always has. My dad is also a very hard worker, and that's what I just gravitated towards. Yeah, he was a hard worker. Yeah, he was a provider. He was good with cars, like my dad's good with cars. Yeah, so those kind of traits, and personality kind of things were similar. Yeah. So that's what I gravitated towards.
And did you pick up on any of the aggression when you were younger, or
not really?
Just you had your child, and sometimes that can be
I just think we're in our bubble.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't see anything like that until we moved into our home, and then one night he just lost it. And
had he been drinking?
Yeah, we had actually all been out.
Oh, okay, then.
But while we were out, that's when I saw the signs, and so
how old was your daughter at this point?
She was 1.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So then we went home. I went back to my house. I think he left before us. He had actually smashed up my whole house. So the whole backyard, the windows. I had like a weight set on the side and the bar. Yeah, I think he used that to smash all my windows. God. The outdoor setting, and like my daughter's room had glass all through the cot.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Your daughter wasn't there?
No, she wasn't there. She was at my mum's.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Like that, and that was my wake up call to go, this is not how I want to live.
Yeah.
I was raised that way. So
Yeah.
I was raised in that environment.
Yeah.
Toxic environment.
Yeah.
So I thought that's not my path in life.
Yeah.
So I pretty much, that was it.
Yeah.
I said, no, I don't want that. I packed his shit and literally dropped it on my doorstep and said, here's your stuff.
Yeah.
You can't come here because like you can't be trusted, kind of thing, and you're violent. Like if that wasn't, like if I always think if I was there, that would have probably been me.
Yeah.
Like not the windows and not the door and not the outdoor setting would probably be me.
Yeah.
So I think my daughter doesn't need that.
No. Do you know what triggered it at the time?
Yeah, look, drugs.
Yeah. Okay.
Alcohol, jealousy.
Yeah. Okay.
Rage.
Yeah.
Just jealous. Like he had a bit of issues.
Yeah.
That he had to work through, and like I'm not the savior. Do you know what I mean? Like some people that have issues like that, they tend to look to other people to help them save them.
Yeah.
Where we can only do so much.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to help
he
yourself.
needs to go help himself, kind of thing. So that is how I became a single mother.
Yeah, right.
That day.
Yeah.
And I don't regret it at all.
No.
I think it was the best decision I've ever made. My mother also said, like, you're very strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, not having been in that situation, but from what I can understand, it is hard when children are involved to start off with, but being in any relationship, and obviously you guys have been together for at least 3 years by that point, so there's a history. It's not just, all right, pack your shit, let's go. Like that decision is not as switch flip.
And I guess when you're in that situation, the worry is, oh my god, are they going to come back?
Yeah, right.
Like that was the worry. But
so he didn't come back?
No, he didn't come back. I mean, he wanted to come back, but I just was not. I was at that point where I kind of shut that off. Yeah. I was like, no, that's not what I want. Yeah. And that's just how I am, I think. Yeah. If I know what I want, then I know what I want.
And when you're done, you're done.
Yeah, when I'm done, I'm done. Yeah. So that was it. And I was a single mum for a good 4 years after that, which, no, I don't regret at all. But I had a good support system to do that. Yeah. So grateful for that.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So you moved in with your parents when you were pregnant and when you first had the baby. Yeah. So you're living with your dad, who you have mentioned was you experienced.
Yeah, he was an alcoholic.
Witnessed domestic violence. Yeah. Were you apprehensive about moving back in with him?
No, I look at my dad and I just think, I think it's a generational thing when it comes to things like that. They were probably raised that way too. Yeah. But he didn't know how to raise his own children. That's what he was looking up to. Yeah. That's all he knew. Yeah. So I don't look at my father and think, you're a piece of shit. I just think that's how you were raised and that's what you thought you had to do. Yeah. But now my dad doesn't drink. Like he's really good. No, not at all. He's a hardworking man. Like he means well. Yeah. He just didn't know how, I guess, express how he feels. I think the only way he knew how to express that was through his fist. Yeah. And that's pretty normal it was pretty normal in our culture. Yeah. That's how it was. Yeah.
And I don't know about your dad, but your dad might have been that level down from what your grandparents were like. Yeah. So he's feeling that he's kicking goals. Yeah. That he's doing really well, stepping up his life. Yeah. And then the next generation sees that's not exactly what they want.
No. Yeah. Yeah. And, women back then, like in my mum's era, they were not, I guess, you speak up for yourself.
Empowered.
Yeah, they were just, it wasn't normal for a woman to do that. So my mum actually did speak up one day and she did leave. And and it was the best thing that she ever did.
Were you young at that point?
Yeah, I was about 12.
Okay, so you had a good role model then through your mum. Yeah. Speaking up in that situation to have found the power for yourself as well.
Yeah. And my mum had 6 kids, so you can understand
it's not an easy decision.
Oh, not an easy decision at all. Also being that he was the breadwinner. And my mother mothered 6 children.
She was a stay-at-home mum for the whole thing.
Yeah. So, And then she did work. She did create her own T-shirts and all this stuff like that. But she just didn't earn what my dad earned back then. And, 6 kids is a lot.
Absolutely.
So, but one day she just literally got up and left. And she just asked us kids, like, who's coming?
Did she go back?
No. But my mum and dad are they're like best mates. Even
now?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So my dad would go there and mow her lawns and fill up the freezer and, care in that way. But that's his way. I think that's when he figured out that was his way of showing love.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And appreciation, I guess. So,
yeah.
Yeah. That's his way of saying, I guess, I'm sorry, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that was my role model. So I saw my mum do that and I thought, well, I can do that too. So I did do that.
Yeah, good. It doesn't make it any easier having a good role model. No. But it's that foundation that you have built on.
Yeah,
to be able
and
to
I
make
didn't
the
want that
decision for yourself.
for my life.
Yeah.
I don't want that. So I don't have that. And so single mum for 4 years and then you get into another relationship and what the hell is this?
Yeah, right.
I mean, you always want, when you're a single mother, you kind of always want that one person, the companion. Yeah. You want someone that you can go on holidays with and you can share your life with as a single mother. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, you're like, well, I built all this by myself. I'm quite independent.
Yeah.
I don't need anyone.
I don't need no man.
I don't need nobody.
Yeah.
So you kind of just build that wall.
Yeah.
You kind of also think, you look at a man and you think, is that one going to do that? I mean, because sometimes they always be nice in the beginning and then they might just turn. You never know.
Like you said, the bubble.
Yeah, you're in a bubble.
The love bubble.
Yeah, that's right. So. Yeah.
So your current partner.
Yeah.
You met him after 4 years?
Yeah, so we met, when she was, I think she was turning 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then we met, and I've actually known him for a long time.
Yeah.
And that was hard because I'm so independent, and he is so like, it's okay, I've got this.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, I don't care if you got it. Yeah. I still want it.
Yeah, I've got to get it myself. I've got it too. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and it was very hard for me,
as
a single mother and a strong woman to let someone carry some of the load.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, and he probably at the time was going through his own things. Yeah. So I was kind of carrying the load for him.
Yeah.
And then he was like, wow, you've stepped in and helped me and you're a single mum and working 3 jobs. I need to give that back. So he did, and he carried it. But that was very hard to adjust to.
Yeah.
Is to depend on someone. I hate the word depend.
Yeah.
But to depend on another person.
Yeah.
To help pay for fuel. It's just little things like that, if you're a single mother and you're used to paying everything. Yeah. I mean, you love it that, someone's paying it, but at the same time, it's like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Is there some fine print somewhere I've missed?
Yeah.
That took a long time for me to adjust from doing everything on my own to letting someone else take the reins. And carry some of that load. I mean, I still struggle now. And we have a couple of kids together. Yeah. But I still struggle now because I'm just like, no, you can't. I won't let any man take away my independence. Yeah. It just won't happen. Yeah. Just because I've seen it. I've seen what it does to people.
When you were in your relationship with your daughter's ex, did you feel that you had lost yourself over the years that you were together, or did you still feel like you were independent and strong through that time?
Yeah, I actually felt like I was fighting for my independence
with your ex.
Yeah,
okay.
So I wanted more. So I fought for that. So I went and studied. I just worked, so I knew.
You were almost the rock.
Yeah.
You were the breadwinner. Yeah. You were the provider and the mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew what I wanted.
Yeah. So
I would go do it, and maybe that's intimidating for some men to be like, how can you do that when you should be here and should be above? And to me, I'm just like, don't be a dick. Get on the bandwagon. We can actually do something awesome. Yeah. If you just stop the I'm a man, I should be here, you're a woman, you should be there.
Yeah.
Type of mentality.
Do you think the fact that you were such a go-getter, he felt that he had an excuse to not?
Yes.
That you were his reason to be like, oh, I'm not going to go to work today.
Yeah.
You know, you've got this, you'll work, you'll pay the bills.
Yeah, she's got it.
Yeah, right.
And I always did have it.
Yeah.
But
it's not how a relationship works.
That's not how it works, no.
Yeah. So I just want to cover off, so the 4 years where you were a full-time single parent working full-time and your parents were helping you with your daughter.
Yeah.
Emotionally, how was that? Did you ever experience like guilt, or were you enjoying the balance? Like, how was that for you?
The guilt was
4
there,
years?
but it was brought on from outsiders.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah. So I didn't feel guilty.
Yeah.
Because I was just so driven in what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And where I wanted to go. I wanted to go on holidays, and that was my goals.
Yeah.
But I was made to feel guilty from outsiders. People, saying, oh, you should let... I would never stop him from seeing her ever. Never have. Mm-hmm. But if there were times where I thought, you know what, you're actually not right to have my child around. Mm-hmm. Like, you need to stop going on benders and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you can have her.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's my call, because I don't want her around that.
Absolutely.
And so, and then I'd get made to feel guilty for those choices.
Not from your family, though?
Not from my family.
His family?
Yeah.
And friends?
Yeah, from his family.
Yeah, okay.
Only some of his family, not all of his. But at the same time, it's not safe.
Yeah.
Like, are they drunk?
Yeah.
While who's driving?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you gotta, I'm placing her in your hands. I kind of want her back in one piece.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
mean?
you
should never have to question giving your child to anyone.
Instead of being like, she's the problem. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not the problem.
Yeah. You're acting in the best interests of your daughter.
I'm putting her first.
Yeah.
And I'm not being spiteful or coming from a place of, I'm going to cause drama. No.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a young girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she deserves to see her father at his best.
Yeah.
Not struggling and being in that sort of way.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want her to see that.
No.
And they want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
They want to have fun, not, looking at their father like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, she's good. Like, she understands. My daughter understands. Her father also understands.
Yeah.
And, we've had talks of, I said, you need to reach out to your family. You need to get some help.
Yeah, yeah.
I can only do so much for you. I'm not that person to help you.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have been.
Yeah.
But I'm just not.
Yeah.
And my daughter understands. I'm pretty upfront with her. Mm-hmm. So she's 12. I mean, she gets it.
Does she remember any of it?
No, she doesn't remember much.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't.
She was little, so
yeah, she was little.
Yeah.
She doesn't. Nah, she's got really bad memory anyway. She doesn't remember what we did last year. Like,
okay, yeah.
So
yeah. Oh, well, that's positive for her and for you that she's not walked away with anything.
No, and I'm not a nasty person when it comes to things like that. Like, I keep it real, yes.
Yeah.
But I would never say, you can't do this. I would say, listen, you can't have it right now because you're intoxicated.
Yeah.
How are you getting home?
Yeah.
Does she have a baby seat?
Yeah.
That is where I come from.
Yeah.
That's that parenting comes into.
Yeah.
But I would never say, no, you cannot see her, you can't have her. No way.
Yeah, no. You just have to be safe when you do. So you only experience guilt from his family. But you were just... Did you love the balance? Did you love having her when you did, and then working and the freedom and the independence?
Yep, loved it.
4 years for you was a good time. I mean, like, obviously it would have been stressful at certain times.
Yeah, I had a ball.
Yeah, good.
I had so much fun.
Yeah.
I got to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Go wherever I want.
Yeah.
I could go out and come home and know there's not going to be any drama.
Yeah.
Spend time with friends.
Yeah.
My daughter grew up with my brothers. They were young at the time, so they're like brothers to her, I guess.
Yeah.
But like I said, my parents knew I was young.
Yeah.
And they knew that, they probably wished they had that help when they were young and they had a baby.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they were there.
Yeah, and it's good for them to build a relationship with her, not just to support you, but outside of that.
Oh yeah, I mean, they still make jokes today. They always say that we used to tell Tamalia that her auntie's coming to pick her up which is me, her mum. Like, your auntie's here.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I did have her quite a lot, but I did work
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
Weekends and Saturday, Sundays, like, yeah.
Yeah. I think it can be very daunting, the thought of being a single parent. So to hear that you really enjoyed it
Yeah, I did.
is maybe going to be a relief for some people who are
Yeah.
struggling with a decision
Yeah.
whether to
it's
leave
hard.
or whether
It's
to
not
stay.
easy. Like,
Yeah.
it is hard.
Yeah.
But it is... I did really enjoy that lifestyle.
Yeah.
I never asked anyone for help with bills or money or anything like that.
Yeah.
I worked for that.
Yeah.
So I was really proud of that.
Yeah.
Like, I was proud that I worked for that couch or that new fridge
Yeah.
I got, or all the presents. You know, I was proud of that. Like, I did that.
Yeah, good.
I didn't have any help.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she might remember some things, but she remembers the house and everything.
Yeah.
But I hope she remembers that part.
The work ethic.
Yeah.
And working hard to get what you need
Yeah.
and what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can get it.
Yeah.
You can have those things.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what anyone says.
Yeah.
You can get it. So I hope she does remember those things.
And were you able to do special things with her
Yeah, we did heaps.
because you were working and you had the income?
Yeah, and I had, you know, the ice skating stuff. I don't know what they Disney on Ice.
Oh, yes.
Disney
I
on
loved
Ice.
Disney on Ice when I was
Yeah.
little. Yes,
Disney on
yes. The
Ice.
ice skating thing.
Yeah. I mean, we went to that with friends.
Mm-hmm.
She's, wherever I went with my friends, like, she was there.
Yeah.
Like, they all know,
Yeah.
you know.
She's very mature.
Yeah.
But having conversations with her over the 2 years that I've known you?
Yeah.
However, longer than 2 years, I think. She speaks at a level beyond her.
Yeah.
She's 12 now.
12 now. Yeah.
She's beyond being 12.
Yeah.
And she's so easy to communicate, and she's so easy to incite a conversation out of.
Yeah.
Which I've spoken to you about in the past, and you've
Yeah.
said that you think it's because she was around so many adults from
Oh,
such
yeah.
a little age.
Yeah.
So she's very good at communicating. So obviously it's been an asset to her being able to have influences
Yeah.
that were adult
Yeah.
from a little age, because she's thriving now.
Oh, yeah. She's very switched on.
Yeah.
Emotionally as well.
Yeah.
She's very, very, very switched on. And she does tap into that, which I'm glad, because
Yeah.
I don't want her to shut off emotions. I think that can be very, very...
Damaging.
Yeah, so I do encourage her to do that. I'm quite an emotional person, so I hope that she's like that too.
I think you're an emotional person.
I think so, sometimes.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, don't know, I'm not.
That's not a word that I would have used to describe you, but obviously...
I'm an emotional person sometimes,
Yeah.
depending on my mood.
Fair enough, that
I feel
makes
emotional
sense.
today, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see how we roll out of bed.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Well, that's good that you're instilling that in her, because if you don't release emotions, they do.
Yeah,
Get
that's,
worse.
Yeah, they bottle up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So you're obviously with your current partner now, who you met when your daughter was 4, and
Yeah.
you have two children
boys, 2 little gremlins. Yep.
together. So you met in Perth?
Perth, yep. We're both from Perth.
Yes. And then I know that you have obviously lived in other states.
Yeah, we have.
How was that for you? Obviously having so much support from your parents, working full time,
Yeah.
helping with your daughter, and then uprooting. It was just the two of you that moved interstate.
Yeah.
So obviously your parents weren't coming, your brothers and your sisters weren't coming. That family support network that you had raised your daughter with
Had poofed.
while you were still really independent. How
Yeah.
was that pulling yourself and your daughter out of that support network?
It was very, very hard.
Yeah.
It was very hard mentally.
Yeah.
Very hard. Going from working 3 jobs, looking after myself, and then going to another state, hot as hell up there,
Yeah.
and have no job and no family, not one friend.
Yeah.
It's very hard. That was hard.
Yeah.
That tested the relationship for sure.
Yeah.
I think I probably packed my bags a few times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And was that to do with the independence as well?
Yeah.
Because you had lost
Yeah.
what you
I
had
had to
built
depend.
yourself up on? Yeah.
I don't like asking people for things, especially like money. I don't like asking for money. So it was hard for me to be like, oh, I have to enroll her into school. like, these are her fees. I mean, I had my payout for my work that I got anyway, so that helped. But some things I was like, oh, you know, she needs this.
And did you feel, because he wasn't her biological father at that time, the relationship was still pretty fresh, that he shouldn't have to provide for her?
Yeah. I was like, that's not his daughter. I don't want that to become a burden in a way. But then I'm like, that's my daughter. So wherever I go, she goes. Yeah. You know? I guess at the time he was like, don't be silly. If she needs it, just get it.
I've got the money. Yeah,
but is it going to backfire? Like,
do I
owe you? Like, how does this work?
In 2 years, you're going to say, well, I paid for that
I
bag.
paid for her shoes. Yeah. You know, like, that's how I thought. That was my thinking. I guess because that's probably how I was. No.
No, that's how I am.
I don't know, But at the time, I was like, that was really hard. But it was really, he knew I was struggling. Yeah, it was very hard to adjust to a new state. Yeah. No support. Yeah. No friends. Yeah. And then I just remembered, like, it took me a while to just find me again, because I was just, it was like a whirlwind, everything happening at once. Yeah. I was like, just get back on the ground. Yeah.
How long had you been together before you relocated?
Oh my God, I'd say 3 months.
Oh, okay then. So it wasn't like you had a really strong foundation in Perth that had been built together. It was, you'd been together, let's make this move. Yeah. So there's even teething issues with the relationship.
Exactly.
That early
That's why I was like.
So I know I've heard this story before, but I want you to tell everyone your experience from leaving your house with Carter.
Jermaine.
Was it with?
So pregnant with Jermaine.
And then they made the pit stop.
Yeah. So I was.
Okay, so this is Jermaine's story, and then the second story is with Carter.
So Jermaine, pregnant with Jermaine, we're going. My mum was living with me at the time, actually, up there. And
so this is Darwin. What time of the year?
August. So wet season.
Yeah.
Sweaty. Yeah. Just everything's sweating.
Yeah. Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious. Just what you want when you're pregnant. Yeah.
And was going into labour. I actually had a stretch and sweep, and then went into labour. Yeah. And then told my mum, listen, you're going to have to take the kids to school because we're going to have a baby. Yeah. I was like, okay. The hospital was about half an hour from where we were living. Yeah. Palmerston to Darwin Hospital. Yep. And driving on the way there, it was about 5 in the morning, 5:40 something in the morning. And Richie was hungry.
Yeah, good on him.
I wasn't even really taking notice of the hunger.
Yeah, understandably.
I was going to give birth.
You were having a baby.
Car. Yeah. So he wanted food, so he went to the McDonald's in Palmerston.
Oh my God.
Bought himself a big breakfast meal. I'm holding one handle at the front and like pushing my hand on the middle part. Yeah. Just contracting. And the lady at the window is like, is she okay? Yeah. It's like, we're going to the hospital, we're having a baby. Oh, she's like, okay, here you go.
Here's your food.
See you later. Like, go.
Such a man thing.
He's cruising to the hospital having his feed.
Did he offer you any?
Nothing. I'm just like, you just need to get there. I'm going to get all over the car.
Yeah, right.
Got into the hospital, literally. I got in there, my waters hadn't broke. She broke my waters. And I jumped into the spa bath. So I had Jermaine in the water. Yeah. Had that. He'd only had his coffee left by then. And so after the birth, she said, you got brekkie. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I went and got brekkie. She goes, and you didn't get anyone else brekkie. You just got yourself. So,
what a winner.
So I just thought, yes, that's him.
There.
That's the father of my child.
I have made a decision to birth a baby with this man, and
I can't go back now.
Going to come out looking like McDonald's. Have a little like hamburglar baby.
Yeah. So yeah, that's was
so funny.
And then Carter, oh my goodness. So I had him in Melbourne. Yep. He's a July baby, so he's a winter baby. Yep. And I really wanted some photos. I had photos of Jermaine, like when I had him and stuff, but I just wanted some more of like this one.
Yeah, because we have some from when Callie was born.
Yeah, I think they're really. I mean, you look back on them and you're like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, don't show anyone that.
Mine's mostly of Harry asleep in the bath. But yeah. Please continue.
So I said, Richie, don't forget to video, some of the birth, the birthing, and take some photos. It's a thing now.
Yeah, it is a
trend.
It's
trending.
It is.
So we did that, but as I birthed Carter, he didn't get that video. he missed that birth.
Yeah.
He got the birthing of the placenta.
Oh my
instead.
God.
And the nurse is looking at Richie.
Filming the placenta. Carter's in the corner.
Carter's out.
Yeah.
What are you still doing down this end?
Yeah.
And he's videoing the placenta. The nurse said to him, I don't think you should be doing that. I don't think you guys are going to sit back with a glass of wine watching that.
So he completely missed the birth of your child.
Did not get the birth of the child, just the placenta.
So funny.
And I remember looking back on it, watching it, and going, "What a dick!"
What was he thinking? Was he just not paying attention?
Maybe he was mesmerised.
Maybe he's a little scarred. What the fuck is that? The baby is out already.
I think he just froze and just kept rolling. Just kept recording.
That's so good.
I'm gonna ask him why he did that.
Yeah, anyway, you'll have to ask him. So now you have a video of your placenta and not your brand new baby.
And not the baby, and I have even still photos of the placenta and the he must have just been video, snap.
Oh God.
Yeah, I can't wait till he has to get a hemorrhoid out. No, but yeah, that was what I experienced with Richie during Carter's birth.
That's so good.
Yeah, he. I think I don't know if I have the video. I have to look.
Yeah.
I know I've got photos.
Yeah,
for sure.
You need to almost film his face filming the placenta.
Yeah, I wish I did.
Yeah.
Wish I had a phone.
Yeah.
And videoed him. He must have froze and just thought, whoa.
Yeah, maybe he didn't realise. I guess he was there with Jermaine, but some people don't realise that you have to birth the placenta.
Yeah.
They think you just birth your baby. Well, I assume, and most men, they don't even know where the clitoris is, so they're not going to know.
Yeah, that's probably why he was like, whoa.
Yeah, we've got twins. Maybe that's what he thought it was. Maybe he thought it was twins. There was a surprise second baby.
Oh my God.
That looked really, really ugly. Placentas are not pretty. I mean, they're beautiful,
so ugly
because they are the nutritional heaven for our babies, but they are not attractive organs.
No, they're not attractive.
That is so good. That's so funny.
Yeah, so if you got to video your birth, just video the birth.
Yep.
Not the birthing of the placenta.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cover off on what the signs were for you when you're with your ex for DV.
Yeah.
Because women will hear this and they will be able to. Everybody's journey is different, but they will be able to hear what your experiences are and maybe tick some boxes and identify through that. So if you just want to...
I think the main one was the use of alcohol.
Yeah.
And drugs. I mean, they were... What's that word?
Addiction?
No, it wasn't all the time. It was now and then.
Yeah.
But then... So I should have really... pulled that back.
So not just a recreational
yes, it was
experience out on the town.
It was started as recreational.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just became the norm.
Yeah, okay.
For him. And I really should have then picked up on that, but I just, I guess one battle at a time, I guess I was in. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing was just the psychological mental abuse that I experienced. And that was just, belittling, name calling.
Yeah, okay.
Just weird things I know this is pretty out there, but it's weird. I would be out and I'd come home and he's sniffing bed sheets and to see if I'm cheating.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not cheating, But that's the psychological thing, like you're cheating. So he would do things like that, which I thought that is so fucking weird.
And did he accuse you of cheating?
All the time. Yeah. Even though he worked very close to home, he always would just come home and think I'm with someone when it's my day off from work and I'm cleaning.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So and that takes its toll. It's like mentally and emotionally abusing someone, but without you noticing it. And because it was like almost being like, you know, I'm gonna just keep knocking you down, kind of thing. Every time you think you're getting ahead, it's like boom, no you're not, you're back down here. Don't get too far ahead of yourself, kind of.
Don't recognize that you can leave.
And that's that. I should have really picked up on that. I knew, but I just didn't. I just thought, nah, that's not, he wouldn't do that. That's not me.
You always want to
that's not in my world. That wouldn't happen to me, kind of thing. Until I moved to my dad's. And I could have someone there, like another set of eyes. And he kept leaving. So he would like leave, I'm leaving you. And I was heavily pregnant, and he would leave. And he would go stay like with his family for a couple of months, and he's like, oh, I'm coming back now. So there was no way I could be like, oh, I'm having a baby soon, I'm trying to get out and move into my house, and you know, you're coming and going, and the whole like, oh, you know, the feel sorry for me stories that he had, because he was going through so much stuff, and it became like, it's your problem kind of thing. Why aren't you helping me? Don't help anyone else, just help me. I should have really picked up on that till we moved into our house, and then it got worse, I think, because we were in our own house, so there was no one else there. So you know, the emotional abuse. So when he did smash my house up, I thought that was my one way to get out. That's it.
Blessing.
That's it. Everyone can see it now. It was no longer in our house. Like, you smashed up my whole house, you can't hide that. You might be emotionally abusive to me and psychologically abusive to me, and no one can see that. And if I said that to people, they'll be like, oh wow, she's lost it, or you know, or wasn't she kicked him out yet? But when he smashed my house, everyone saw it. No, you can't hide from that anymore. And neither could I. And that was when I went, that is it. If I don't take that and get on with it, next time will be me. And no one would be around. Like, I could be dead. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the extreme that my head would go to. So when it's emotional abuse, psychological abuse, it's so much harder to shake it, but you know you're in it. That's the hardest thing. It's like an out-of-body experience. Like, you kind of know you're experiencing that.
Definitely. Alrighty, well, thanks so much for coming on and telling your story. Okay. That was really good. I'm excited to share this with everyone.
Thanks.
And thanks. Alrighty.
See ya.